So New Balance seem to be going hard at the moment on the New Balance 1000, and I think it's more of a spring autumn shoe to me. It's not really, I suppose, for the summertime, but I've seen obviously a few models that are coming out kind of on the peak of summertime, and the first colorway, or the first two colorways, came out, you know, sort of early spring, which is probably a good time. But this isn't really a summer shoe, so I'm not sure why the coloration of releasing these now. However, saying that, they are a newly retro sneaker, so they came out originally in 1999. So it was one of those trainers where they kind of basically decided to bring them back, and I think it's probably a good thing anyway. I think this model in particular is a lot different to all the other New Balance models. And it was originally released as a runner, so I think nowadays it's more of a lifestyle sneaker, because there's so many other sneakers, you know, that are more up to date in terms of tech that you can use for running. The colorway is Angora, which I think is the blue color, and then also Moonrock, which is the grey, I imagine, and then Almond Oil being this kind of creamy colour in my opinion, and then they've got sort of pink hits. It's kind of similar to the 1906, I think it was the U that came out, and that also had this sort of Angora type colourway on it as well. And it's one of those sneakers that I think is quite cool actually when you get them in hand. These look quite nice actually, into the different materials on here, quite cool. And this has a polyurethane midsole, so the foam on this isn't too soft, it's quite on the dense side. However, it does feel nice on foot and quite sort of neutral at the same time. And they do come with Abzorb SBS pods on here, so you can sort of see these are like these sort of almost sort of gel-like structures, just to kind of give you that sort of impact protection. Really, that's the reason why they sort of feature on here. So you have a smaller one on the forefoot and then on the heel, but it works pretty well. And there's also stability web technology, so this is the TPU plate in between, so to stop you from twisting your shoe, so it kind of gives that sort of rigidity and torsional support. And these are made up of a leather material. As you can see, these panels, wavy panels, are all leather materials, and then underneath it's almost like this mesh material, which is slightly on the hard wearing side in my opinion, almost going towards a trail shoe vibe. And the price for these were 150, so slightly lower than a collab version. The collab version came in at 160, so which isn't too bad. So with the comfort and sizing, I think these are on the medium to firm side in my opinion. They do feel comfortable on foot. There's a bit of give to them, mainly from the insole, but also the foam does have a bit of give to it, so that's why I've given it a medium to firm. Not that it feels uncomfortable, it's still very comfortable for a New Balance sneaker, and quite similar to their other models in the sort of 990 series. And it has sort of okay support around the arch in my opinion, that you can sort of see inside. There isn't too much support, but the contoured shape of this medial lateral side does work pretty well and kind of supports your foot pretty well. So I'd say that's a win. And there isn't much wearing time with these in my opinion, because of the fact that it's got this mesh and it's quite sort of forgiving, and the toe box is quite wide as well, so I feel like, you know, you're sort of good to go straight out of the box. And the more you wear them, obviously the more they'll loosen up. True to size works on this. I think if you're American, with the New Balance sizes, they don't quite correspond to the UK sizes. So with me, I tend to go up half a size in runners in general, because I have a wide foot, and this is exactly what I did with this, and this sort of correlates perfectly to my Nike size. However, if you're in the US, I think all people probably need to go down at least half a size or go true to size on these. So that's kind of my take on it. The sizes, like I say, don't colorate so well. And the midsole is chunky, so it's like a trail shoe. Like I said earlier, it does feel quite sort of chunky on foot. Not that it's heavy, but it's quite sort of dense and chunky. And I think these have great traction as well. Like, it's not like amazing, but it does work really well. And the fact that they've got these sort of pivot points going on at the forefoot allows that extra bit of bend. And also on the heel, I think this works quite well in my opinion. So with the look and style, I like the light colours and the grey running around the mesh area. I think that's quite nice, and depending on what you like really, if I was to sort of choose between this and the Arme Leon Dore pair, obviously I'm going to go for that one, because I think that one's nicer with the TPU panels, but this is probably in my eyes the best GR colorway to release. And I think because of the leather paneling on here, it feels quite durable as well. I think anytime you could sort of wear these, my preference would be sort of spring, autumn time because of the colourway. And you don't want to get these ruined during the winter time, and I think they're a bit too hot for the summertime. And in my eyes, I think these are a casual sneaker, so it's very much one to wear sort of casually, sort of when you're sort of out and about, with joggers, and you can obviously dress them up with jeans, but I wouldn't really be dressing smart in these. They're a bit too loud for that. The white laces that that you can put in here would work well with the leather panels, but you've also got the grey that's on matching the tongue. And you could also maybe even go with pink and grey and even blue because it's got all those sort of hits on the sneaker. So with the final thoughts, I like the fact that it's a trail shoe. So in that sense, it looks like a trail shoe. So you have these sort of lace loopholes. The mesh material feels quite sort of rugged as well. And it almost gives that, like I said, that chunky sort of aesthetic, which is very similar to a trail shoe. And the colour scheming on this has got a sort of neutral colour scheme, so I do like that. It pairs well with any kind of outfit really in my eyes. Especially because the pink and the blue is on the minimum side. And I like the fact that it's got all leather panels over the top. Obviously there's mesh areas, but the overall trainer itself is just made up of leather panels, which looks really nice. So with the cons, I think the silhouette isn't for everyone. With me, I prefer this, to wearing the Air Max 95, for instance, and I think this is a nicer silhouette, especially the Joe Freshgood ones. But I think certain people still may not like the look of these. So with the look and style, I'll give the rating a 4 out of 5. I don't think it's a perfect sneaker, and I think the Joe Freshgood ones is probably a nicer version in my opinion. And the comfort is really nice in my opinion. I think it's much better than some other trainers that you can buy, especially for the year that they came out in originally, which is 1999. They still feel very, very comfortable on foot. And the quality, I give that 4. There's nothing wrong with this pair. It's built really well, and there's not sort of too many cheap materials, and kind of what is expected from a New Balance sneaker. And the pricing isn't too bad. I think I would prefer them to be lower because there isn't much taken there for £150. I think for me, I'd be happy paying about £130 for these. And that's why overall it's a solid sneaker, and I'll give it a 4 out of 5. It's the best GR colourway to release, and if you've sort of missed out and you're interested in this particular model, then I think this is the one to go for if you can't get the collab versions.